Hey guys, Buddy here. Today we're gonna watch the Watch Mojo Top 10 Killers and see how silly this is. All right, chat, are you ready? Let's go. I'm excited.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're taking a look at the top 10 Dead by Daylight killers.
This is quite the intro montage, all right.
For this list, we're looking at the deadliest, dastardly, and devious killers from the online multiplayer phenomenon, Dead by Daylight. And hey, I am obsessed with Dead by Daylight, if you can't tell already, so follow me on Twitter at GhostwriterTyler and tell me what your favorite killer is.
You got it, buddy.
Or if I was just flat out wrong. Number 10, the Hillbilly.
That might be somewhat accurate. We'll see.
If you really want to scare the pants off of the survivors, you might take a liking to Max Thompson Jr., aka the Hillbilly. This horribly
Only 10?
disfigured dude comes
I think he's a
equipped
bit
with
better than that.
cattle hammer to smack survivors upside the head with. but the
Huge
real
melee
joy
plays, holy
comes from the
shit.
secondary weapon, the chainsaw.
Oh my god, he's gonna hit the immobile target! And he
Hold
hit the
button
ball
to
enough
rev it like a madman, and you'll break into a sprint, instantly putting any survivor in your path into a dying state. However, you can't spam this whenever you please. You will have to gauge its overheating
He's gonna hit.
mechanic in
He doesn't
addition
even
to
know about.
grasping the difficult
He doesn't know about
steering.
iframes.
We know that Leatherface has similar abilities and mechanics, but we'll take the overheat hindrance over Leatherface's painstakingly long tantrums. Seriously, man, get a grip.
Yeah, get a grip, dude. Oh.
Number 9.
That wasn't even a
Huntress.
tantrum. That was just using the power. And also, he didn't
What
chain
about
the.
a killer with a little more range and a little more music behind her charm? Few of Dead by Daylight's killers require refilling ammunition, but of the ones that do, we prefer the Huntress. Our delirious and deranged Anna brings hatchets into the fray, and she can
What
throw
was
them
that
at
throw?
survivors from a moderate distance. Just try not to waste every
He's
hatchet on one survivor,
console.
or else you'll have to stop and find a locker and restock. As her name implies, the Huntress is well versed when chasing survivors, able to equip perks that grant her buffs for simply chasing and reveal the locations of other players. She's very much a character you should be afraid of.
These clips, man. Because he's playing Hunters on console.
Number
That's
8,
rough.
the Pig.
Pig better than Hunters? All right. All right. I feel you, Watch Mojo. I feel you.
Whereas most killers can pressure survivors into either repairing faster or taking turns playing bait, the Pig forces an extra obstacle into the game that'll make any survivor sweat.
I know,
when
right,
a survivor
buddy?
is in a dying state, the Pig can place a reverse bear trap onto their head. Repaired generators will activate this trap, and from
Dude.
there the survivor has a limited amount of
Insidious,
time
distressing,
to find a key
what
in
a
one
fucking
of the many
build.
jigsaw boxes. Should they try to escape the trial with a trap still attached, the trap will go off. Basically, the Pig is constantly forcing survivors to readjust their priorities, and this mechanic alone will make you feel like the most devious player.
You like
That
the
is,
word devious.
Until you run out of reverse bear traps. Then it's just time for sacrificing.
Wait. Does Beg not know what the.
Number 7,
the KT.
Executioner, aka Pyramid Head.
Okay. I think I kind of agree with that placement. I'd say he's probably more like 6, but that's pretty accurate.
Honestly, it's just cool that Pyramid Head has joined a game featuring several horror movie icons. It's even better that his playstyle is easy to understand, yet a tad tricky to perfect. With the Great Knife, Pyramid Head can unleash a lethal trail of metal, wire, and bone, inflicting the torment effect on those hit. While under this effect, survivors can be sent to the Cage of Atonement, which can ignore any hook-related perks that survivors may have equipped. It pretty much acts like an automatic hook without having to risk a survivor possibly escaping your grasp. Simply put, Pyramid Head is an aggressive defender when it comes to keeping survivors in the sacrificing process. Lord knows my struggles with the guy.
What does that? I don't know what that sentence means, but in terms of placement, that's pretty decent for
Number
Pyramid Head.
6, the Nurse.
Yeah, that's true. Nurse is definitely the 6th best. So this is on console. If we're talking about console,
The nurse can be an incredibly fun killer to play as, and it's
I think
all
I have to
because of her
agree.
unique blink ability. Not only are nurse players able to cover a good amount of
Yeah,
ground
this is
with this
console.
ability, but it also opens an opportunity to ambush survivors and land a hit before they can flee. However, this impressive mobility does come at a price. Shortly after the blink, the nurse will be hit with a brief moment of fatigue, leaving her unable to attack and drastically slowing.
Look, if this is a console tier list, I think that actually this is fine. Nurse is not the best killer on console. She's so fucking hard to play on console. It's just not good. So as much as I'd like to make fun of it, I can't because Nurse is, yeah, not amazing on
her
console.
speed. With this kind of hindrance and having to guesstimate where you'll appear, the nurse requires an extensive amount of time to master. But when you get the hang of it, she is so satisfying to play as.
So
Number
satisfying to play
5,
one hook at the exit gate.
Nemesis.
This is number 1. I don't know. I'm so
You
excited
want
to
to
see
feel
that.
like a ruthless, cold, unfeeling killing machine?
He didn't say
Or
devious.
maybe you just want everything to feel more like Resident Evil. Then Nemesis is the perfect candidate for you. The big brute comes with a tentacle whip that can smack survivors to apply the hindered effect, decreasing their movement speed.
No, it
On top of
doesn't.
that, every smack increases its power, eventually letting you break pallets and doors with it. Of course, the survivors don't have
Buddy.
only Nemesis to worry
No,
about,
buddy.
as the
No,
monstrosity can have zombies spawn on the map to either attack survivors and alert their location, or be off to increase the tentacle whip's power. Needless to say, Nemesis is a pain train with no brakes, and my god, I have been playing as him almost exclusively since the day he dropped.
They're always
You better
teabagging
watch
your
out for
gates. You better watch out for me. Gates open, 2 hooks. Every one of these clips, he's got like
Number
1 hook with
4,
people like the
the
exit gates.
Oni. If brutality is your thing, then you might be more of an Oni player. This ancient samurai warrior comes with a lot of pent-up rage, and it shows in his abilities. When survivors are struck with his Yamaoka blade, they drop blood orbs that the Oni can absorb in order to fill up his power gauge. Once filled, the Oni will be able to access a Blood Fury mode that grants him 2 additional abilities. Demon Dash lets him cover a ton
He has
of
no head on
distance,
everybody. I don't
while
think he has any
Demon
perks,
Strikes
dude.
will put survivors into a dying state with a single hit. Overall, the Oni has this fun and satisfying balance between being patient and rushing down survivors.
Wait.
Number
He didn't
3,
even do the power.
Shape, aka Michael Myers.
Look, on the one hand, the guy is clearly new to the game, and making fun of a player that's new to the game, that's mean. There's no reason to do that. On the other hand, if you're new to the game, you shouldn't make a top 10 Dead by Daylight killers list ever. Those just go hand in hand. If you're gonna make a list, you should kind of know the basics of the game, or the killers that you're playing. But if you don't, that's fine, and no one should make fun of you for being new, but then don't also make lists like this.
Speaking
And again, it's
of
Watch
patience,
Mojo, and
our
Watch
man
Mojo is
made
dog
of
shit,
pure
so.
evil, Michael Myers is all about waiting. Before pouncing on prey, Michael can use his stalking abilities to buff his powers, particularly his lunge
What
attacks.
was that reaction? Wait. What was this play?
Powers.
How did she still not notice him? What the you are literally touching his model at this point. How do you still not notice
Waiting.
him?
Before pouncing on prey, Michael can use his stalking abilities to buff his powers, particularly his lunge attacks, vaulting, and movement.
That's
However, those who play as the Shape will have to prioritize which survivors to sacrifice, as this killer's personal perks all revolve around the Obsession. These perks can decrease your cooldowns, increase your movement speed, or even make penalties more severe in skill checks. Yeah, he's just as terrifying as he is in the Halloween films.
Does Dying Light affect skill checks? I'm pretty sure it just slows down,
He is
right?
not someone you want to mess around with.
Did you hear the conviction in his voice? Wait, hold on.
He is not someone you want to mess around with.
Like,
As in the Halloween
listen to the way he says the M and mess around with. It sounds like he's
films. He is not someone you want to mess around with.
like the way he says it. He's like, I'm not even sure about what I'm saying. Like this, I'm not making fun of the guy's voice or anything like that. I just like the conviction in his voice when he said that. He was just like, "This is not someone you want to mess around with." That's just like what I heard.
Number 2, the Doctor.
Yes, definitely.
Many of the killers we've listed so far
I am so excited for the first one.
are twisted in their own ways, whether it be focusing on the obsession solely or imposing more obstacles on the survivors. When it comes to the Doctor, on the other hand, only
theme is a cat
truly
jam.
sadistic players will play as him. Old Herman Carter can electrocute survivors and inflict the madness effect, which causes survivors to reveal their location through screaming and experience hallucinations of the Doctor. The only way survivors will be able to cure themselves is by completing the snap out of it skill check, but this can be excruciatingly difficult when inflicted with Tier 3 madness, the Doctor. Fun for the whole family.
Excruciatingly difficult. It's literally half of the entire bar. Yeah, he's just new. I feel like I'm not even allowed to make fun of him because he's genuinely just new to the game, and I'm not gonna make fun of a new player. But then again, you shouldn't be making lists.
Before we reveal Dead by Daylight's most horrifying and threatening killer, here are a few honorable mentions. Ghostface. Best for those who can pull sneaky tactics.
Ghostface is alright. I like how we put Myers in here, but not Ghostface.
The Nightmare, aka Freddy Krueger. A challenge to learn given how drastically different his mechanics are.
Put Portal on ground.
The Trapper.
That's it.
Best for beginners and tricky to master.
I'll say Trapper requires map knowledge, so that one's fair.
The Demogorgon. We gush every time that theme song plays during a chase.
Not number 1, this tier list is shit. Huge shred.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Of course.
You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1.
Damn it.
The Spirit.
I was hoping it wouldn't be Spirit because that's actually a good one for console. Sigh.
Another name for the Spirit is Ultimate Ghost Simulator. Okay, not really, but this undead woman makes being spooky a ton of fun. With her phase walk power, Rin Yamaoka can turn invisible and quickly traverse to another part of the map. Though she loses all sight of survivors in this state, she can still see scratch marks clearly, making it easier to ambush players before they realize you're there. Phase walking will also let the Spirit leave behind a husk that can emit its own terror radius, as well as suppress the Spirit's audio cues. When it comes to maintaining horror in a multiplayer game, it's always a scary time when the Spirit is hunting you down.
Yeah, that one's fair. No jokes to be made about that one. That one's actually fair. Because, all right, this is clearly made from a new player who plays on console. And to that regard, a lot of these actually make a lot of sense. Like, Spirit probably is the best console killer, right? I don't know. I don't play on console. But I would assume so, because Nurse, there's no way Nurse is the best. She's way too fucking hard to play on console. So, that, number 1, makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I do genuinely think if you're new to the game, you shouldn't be making lists. I don't think you should make lists like this ever for this type of game, because it's so, like, subjective, but I don't know. I don't think anyone's really taking Watch Mojo as a beacon of, like, balance or anything like that, so they're just doing it to make content. And I can't blame a dude for doing the hustle, so great video. Would watch again. 10 out of 10. All right, bye. Awkward, because I'm not ending my stream.